Greetings! My name's Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. Well, last time we... Last time we defeated the King of the 100 Hearts and installed the Pirate Poet as the ruler. Well, I mean, she's still sailing with us, so somewhat of an absentee ruler, but whatever. And we acquired the 7th member of the 7, that is to say, us. But we are not going to complete that stuff yet, because we still got a bunch of other loose ends to tie up, shall we say. Not that many. I mean, there's quite a few stories that I haven't completed, but those can wait for next time. No, I'm talking about things that I've already done a lot of. First up, the Polythreme stuff. Of course. Finishing up with that. Other than that... Let's see. Yeah, there's quite a few stories we basically haven't even started yet, which can definitely wait for next time, like the stuff with the Hera specs. Because remember, this is theoretically a roguelike game. Which is a dumb name, by the way, roguelike. Or roguelite, or whatever. It's like, I don't know. It's one of those names where that just tell you nothing. It's just rubbish. It's like when we used to call first-person shooters Doom clones and then Quake clones or whatever. It's just still not as bad a name as fucking MOBA. That is a next-level garbage name. Or I mean, action-adventure. What the fuck is an action-adventure game? That name tells you nothing about it. Lots of games have adventure. Every game has actions. Action is just things happening. Whatever. I wonder if the Medivh is ever going to come out of her shell. Maybe if I challenged her to knife and candle. I miss the times when knife and candle was still a thing in London. Oh well. Anyways. Alright, I'm gonna have to go check the recording for the last video to figure out where the hell I need to go for the Polythreme stuff, because they said they'd have it in the fucking journal, but they clearly don't. So I'll be right back. Aha! Here we go! Remember how we got London and Glory the other day? Or a couple episodes ago? And then we did that stuff in the Chelonate which reduced the London supremacy? Well, this is exactly why. We triggered it again! Got another 5 hearts, a bunch of treasures. Yeah! Unfortunately, I don't know of any other things that can reduce it. Well, besides the stuff in Port Carnelian, but I can't do that anymore. So, it's such a ridiculous strategy. Ooh. Here we go. A fish skin parcel. Each layer is translucent, but a dozen layers together are a soggy gray. It smells of things that die at thee. Glory's story. The Scrimshaw Chronicler has sent you a gift. A harpoon of Stygian ivory, dark as the Gant pole, engraved up and down with the heroes you invented, and their deaths. Each death agony is beautifully presented. The courage of these tiny shapes, arrayed against the ancient monster, would stir the most peaceable heart. The turtle called Glory dies at length along the harpoon's length. Oh. And at its leather-wrapped handle, the Chelinate is shown triumphant. This piece would grace any museum. It would ennoble any duke's fireplace. It's a lie, of course. Probably no one but you will ever know that. Which essentially makes it the truth. From a certain point of view. Alright. You know what? Since I'm getting ready to retire... Well... No. I'll save my cash for now. I'll have to spend it later, but... Well, I've got plans. Now then. Where do I... Ah, here we go. Even in London, the Claymen know that they need to obey the orders of their new queen to return home. That is, as soon as they're freed from their contracts binding them here. Money makes free. Their owners want compensation for their loss. They troop aboard. After the deed is done, each Clayman lies down in its appointed position next to the other, nested snugly, head by foot. We follow the Queen's command, one explains to you. Home sweet home. A college of the intelligent advisor meets you at the... or colleague, rather, meets you at the docks to welcome the Clayman back home. 720 echoes. You did a good thing today, your contact person tells you as he hands you 120 coins for each Clayman delivered. Alright. Is that all? No other effects? Okay. There we go. New ships and opportunities. The intelligent advisor gestures through a large window. In the docks are much more ships than you've ever seen before in Polythreme. Seems you were successful. It's time for the next step. Luxury goods. The money we make because of fuels and supplies isn't bad. But it's only a small amount compared to Harbor's bigger assortments. The real profit is made with luxury goods like coffee, silk, wine, and honey. Actually, I found the real profit is made with secrets, but that's just me. The intelligent advisor explains and hands you a file from one of the stacks. I made a few arrangements with traders from different ports who are willing to provide permanent supply routes for Polythreme if we can prove to them that the demand for their wares is high enough. The goods for this test run are already prepared. All you have to do is pick them up at the specific ports and bring them back here. You open the file and look over the list of ports you need to visit. The coffee comes from Adam's Way, the silk from Saviour's Rocks, the honey you get from Iron Republic, and the wine you need to head back to London. Alrighty then. Sure hope this is going somewhere. Alright. Here we go. Deliver the goods. Coffee from the other continent. There's no better beverage for a rough morning at your home. Yeah. Yeah. Made from mushrooms, like a big part of the foods of the Neath, the intelligent advisor mumbles as he studies the label of one of the casks. A shame humans need to eat and drink. Many people lose their lives to deadly spore growth while harvesting mushrooms. Just look at the Iron and Misery Cove funging station on Damu Island. Aha! He suddenly exclaims. I knew it! This one is an admixture of special herbs. I should keep this cask for the queen. Okay then. Yes. A drug the devils created for the dream serpents called Finger Kings to temporarily transport people in their mystical treat realm parabola. A fantastic and yet sometimes very dangerous trip. He gives the folk into one of the worker. Like mini drugs, actually. And you would know? Oh, an urgent issue. The intelligent advisor sent for you. It seems to be important. Oh dear. The good news is, Because of your help, we managed to establish permanent trading routes and receive a steady income, the intelligent advisor says, but his voice lacks any form of enthusiasm. The bad news. The Khanate doesn't like this development and apparently wants to make sure we stay under control. Why would the Khanate care, of all people? The Queen wants to speak with you about the details and awaits you in her throne room. I suggest you don't let her wait. Alright, from this point on, the quest will lead to a battle with the Khanate. The strength of their forces and those of the Polythreme depend on your decisions. Oh, so this is like a, So this is like some kind of, what was the place called? There's like some sort of stuff with the rats and the cavies. We're on that one island. Poly's military, diplomacy, and economy all contribute to their forces in the same way. Since diplomacy can be used to get support from allies and wealth can be used to hire mercenaries. The strength of the Khanate during the battle depends on the quality anger of the Khanate, which is currently 0 and will raise whenever you challenge the Khanate directly. It is, however, possible to reduce this value by 1 at a later point, or keep the quality at its weakest level from the beginning. The change from 0 to 1 doesn't increase the forces of the Khanate as much as the change from 1 to 2 and so on. Wait, if you can reduce it at 1, or keep the quality at its weakest level, what if can you reduce it to -1? I know negative values are technically supported by this, by this game, even if they rarely are shown. If you manage to win the battle with quality anger of the Khanate equals 3, you'll receive a legacy item. But beware, if you lose with the quality 1 or greater, Polythreme will be destroyed completely. Huh. Interesting. In addition to your regular diplomacy points, you also have the option to ally yourself with the Khan's Shadow and London. However, the support of London isn't easily gained, and if you fail, London might even fight against you during the battle. Gaining the support of Khan's Shadow will anger the Khanate, which, depending on the value of the quality anger of the Khanate, might cause more damage than it helps. The Dawn Machine might help you too during this conflict. That's interesting. You can gain its favor by increasing its influence by using and spreading its technology without letting it fall into the hands of its direct rivals, namely London and the Khanate. The support of the Dawn Machine will anger London, which means it will only pay off for you if the Dawn Machine is strong enough to compensate for that. Read these tips again on the page of the Intelligent Advisor. Alrighty then, this is peculiar. Whoa. As you enter the throne chamber, you notice that the pirate poet doesn't use an extra chair anymore, and finally sits in a throne, even though it isn't the same one the King with the 100 Hearts used. She's speaking with a servant, but stops when she notices you. You contemplate loudly, if you should bow to her, but she breaks this train of thought up immediately. If you dare so much as bend a knee, I will personally throw you out the window, she growls, but with no real malice behind it. The pirate poet stands up and leads you from the throne room to her private chambers. Oh my. There she gestures for you to sit down at a table, takes a bottle of wine and 2 glasses from one of the cabinets before joining you. The Khanate sends an ultimatum to us. They threaten Polythreme with a sea blockade if we don't compensate them for the ships that cross their territory on the way to or from our island. She glares at the wine glass in her hand. They're just angry about their diminishing income. Despite the fact that the Khanate is terribly suspicious of outsiders, they're the biggest trading point in this region of the Neath. Of the Z, rather. Now that we offer an alternative, more and more of the traders have come to us and avoid the unfair taxes and requirements the Khanate imposes on them. The pirate poet looks at you thoughtfully. Before we discuss this further, I have to tell you something. I think it would be best for me to stay here on Polythreme during this crisis. I'm sorry, but in times of peril, my place is with my people. Afterwards, I will gladly accompany you again. Her posture seems tense as she waits for your answer, and after a short silence, you nod with an understanding smile. Relaxing a little, she focuses back on the current issue. There are several options for us to react on the demands of the Khanate, and I want your opinion. What would you do? Let's see. Negotiate the contact. Khanate, their demands are unreasonably high. Send an ambassador to find a compromise. Alright. Our mercenaries. Let's see. Reduce wealth greatly, increase military greatly, and anger the Khanate. Send them a message. Why? Sink a few of their ships to show them that you aren't defenseless. This is the only way to reach anger the Khanate 3, but if you can't fulfill a certain requirement till the final battle, this option leads to a certain defeat. Well, Certainty of death? Small chance of success? What are you waiting for? The wrong idea. Are you insane? The pirate poet snaps. If you do something like that, the Khanate will attack us with everything they have. No, I won't allow something as suicidal as this. We'll send an ambassador to the Khanate. Tell the intelligent advisor my decision, and bring him to Khan's glory. Now leave. Alrighty then. Give the intelligent advisor his new orders. Negotiate with the Khanate. You tell him the plan to send him as an ambassador to the Khanate. He nods at that. The Queen seems to favor this option when I discuss the plan with her. I will try my best. Or, lie to him. The intelligent advisor doesn't know what the pirate poet told you. Oh boy! I am ever a moth to folly's flame. Send them a message. You tell them that his queen decided to send the Khanate a message by destroying a few of their ships. The intelligent advisor's eyes are wide in surprise, before his expression visibly darkens. Yet he doesn't comment. He merely nods and wishes you good luck and a safe return. Oh, this'll be fun! Pissing off both the Khanate and the pirate poet. Oh boy. Well then. Just do that. What's this? Oh yeah, for that stuff. Probably for the best that I haven't propositioned her yet. Otherwise, this could lead to an uncomfortable spat. Speaking of which, I wonder what I can buy up here. Oh, of course, mushroom wine, honey, coffee beans, and spice silk. What did I expect? All right, let's go sink some fucking ships. The Khanate ships are all over the place, but for best results, I'll sink them right on their fucking doorstep. Boom! Alright. One down. What are you looking at? Oh yeah. They don't have a single ship out there that can stand up to me. Let's see if we can find it there. They don't have a single ship that can stand up against my tiny dinghy. Easy peasy. Alright. All redone. It's probably for the best then that she decided that she should stay in Polythreme while I went off and did this stuff. I doubt she'd approve. It'd be funny if I had her as my first officer while I did that. That would be pretty ridiculous. Yeah. This whole storyline I thought was gonna just be a bunch of annoying fetch quests, but it's certainly turning out a lot better than I had feared. Alright, let's see how she was on. He took care of the matter with the Khanate, hopefully to her liking. Mutiny. The armrests of her throne get crushed between the pirate poet's fingers as you reveal what you did to her what you did. Fury is radiating from her, and from the corner of your eye, you see several guards strengthen their grip on their weapons. If you would be anybody else, I would throw you in the deepest prison cell and throw away the key, she says, voice trembling of anger before she jumps from her throne and finally explodes. Do you know what you did? The Kane will throw everything they have at us, and we aren't anywhere close to prepared for this. There is a good chance you have signed a death sentence for all of us. The pirate poet grabs your collar while towering menacingly over you. I bet I'm just staring up with a cheeky grin on my face. What did you expect when you asked me for help? Your ship is the best we currently have, which is the only reason I'll give you a chance to correct your mistakes. But if you ever dare to disobey my orders again, you'll regret it like nothing before in your life. I don't think you quite realize the situation you're in. I don't take orders from you. I am not one of your subjects. In fact, up until recently, you were one of mine. You do not tell me what to do. She shoves you back, and stumbling, you fall to the ground. On your ship, I was your loyal officer. The fury slowly drains from her expression and is replaced by pure disappointment. On this island, I believe you to be a reliable right hand. That was obviously a mistake. Yes. Yes, that was. You were a fool to think I was anyone's appendage. I'm not part of anyone's body. I am not... I am not a hand of yours. I am my own whole body. You were a great fool if you thought me anything else. Frankly, whatever. Go, find the intelligent advisor for your next mission. Polythreme's defense. Anger the Khanate +2. A part of you expected the intelligent advisor to comment on the outcome of the latest confrontation with the Khanate, or the latest confrontation of the pirate poet. But the Clayman is, as usual, only focused on your next task. The Queen wants to build a new and modernized fleet, but while we have more than enough workers to fulfill this demand in a fraction of the time the Khanate or London would need, we don't have the necessary know-how to do so. Well, I can certainly get you in contact with people that have the necessary know-how to build submarines. That could certainly be a useful advantage. We need instructors to teach the Clayman how to build the new engines, cannons, and ships that can compete with the other factions in the Nath, explains the intelligent advisor as he places a list in front of you, which seems to illustrate Polythreme's current wealth. Our options to hire such personnel, however, is restricted by our financial resources. 2 options. We are in a difficult situation. Your decision to deny the demands of the Khanate greatly increased the danger of the invasion, but also created a unique opportunity to build up our defenses, explains the intelligent advisor as he gestures to the papers in front of you. Yes, I could see the opportunities when it came to that quite easily, which is why I did it, partially. As you can see, we have an impressive wealth at our disposal, enough to even make an offer to the Grand Geode. The engineers of the Dawn Machine work with the most advanced technology in the Nath. With their help, our ships would have an advantage against every possible enemy at Z. There is a glimmer of excitement in the Clayman's eyes, but soon a serious expression takes over again. However, spreading the technology of the Dawn Machine will increase its influence throughout the Nath, which in turn will anger London. If worst comes to worst, we might fight against both the Khanate and the Royal Navy in the end. Nevertheless, an alliance with the Grand Geode is maybe our only chance to survive an invasion of the Khanate. The intelligent advisor sighs. That is, if the position of the Dawn Machine is strong enough. As an alternative, we could simply search in London for suitable engineers. After all, it's the biggest city in the Nath, which means you'll always find people searching for a job. For the right price, one can hire experienced personnel, from which some might have even worked for the Admiralty and built Navy ships. Our Queen doesn't seem to favor either option, since her thoughts are currently preoccupied with other matters. He gives you a pointed look, and for the first time during your conversation, you feel some kind of hostility from your opposite. Therefore, our decision seems to be yours. Personally, I would choose the Grand Geode. The best London's engineers can do is help build ships with a strength equal to those of the Khanate. But with their fleet being much bigger than ours, equality isn't going to save us. Or sorry, safe us. The intelligent advisor gestures to a big chest near the door. Take these echoes and bring us help as fast as you can. You know, I have echoes of my own. Whatever. Hire engineers in Wisdom, London, or the Grand Geo, depending on Polythreme's economy value. Huh. Alrighty then. So... well... I might as well try Grand Geode. It seems to be a good option. I've had dealings with the Grand Geode before. It's alright. And you know what? Going there gives me the perfect opportunity to swing by, well, a rather interesting place that I think you'd like to see. A place a little further south into the west. There we go, over by the Grand Geo. Present your offer to the Commodore, the 64th of his line, I imagine. A pleasant meeting. The Commodore sips his tea as he listens to your explanation of Polythreme's situation. Of course we will help you, he says afterwards, and offers you a smile. As usual, we have expenses to cover, but obviously this won't be a problem. The Commodore nods towards a chest full of echoes. In fact, I had the feeling that this is the beginning of a long and mutual benefiting cooperation. He sees you off with a handshake, and the promise to send some of his best engineers and mechanics to you. Roughly half an hour later, what is that, an hour and a half? 30 people with sunburned skin come on the board of your ship. Oh my. Alright, +2 supremacy, that should be at 3, I think? Alright, at the cost of... yeah, the cost of 2 economy, we got 3 military and 2 diplomacy. Definitely worth it. The London is involved. Maybe I should swing by London, see what's happening over there. So yeah, that's a... ice. Hang on. Does the supremacy of the Dawn machine affect anything? Hang on, let me check. So I carried enough supply to buy an element of Dawn, which would increase it. As well this, although... not efficiently, so... and in fact, if I'm just testing it out, I could also sell this. So let's try it out. I got a backup of my save. Or rather, I have Mandom to check. Okay, so last one was 3 and 2. It might be that the supremacy affects something later, and not this. I don't know. Alright. Grab an element of Dawn. And sell the Memento Mori for 3. And then... no. Darn. Yeah, whatever. If there is a difference, then it probably doesn't happen immediately. It'd probably increase it later. I'll just grab the element of Dawn for now. And bugger off then. Alright. So now it should be at 4. A good number. And as I promised, you'll see something spectacular. The Dawn Machine. There it is. Our very own artificial star. Mesmerizing, isn't it? Don't look too close, though. Ah, fuck. Ran right into it. What happens if I... Unborn time. The Dawn Machine's roots extend here, into a luminous, impossible space. You breathe gold. You think light. Dawn's fingers. Worm fates crawl on your skin. The machine is sick. Its hatred threads your veins. Time will die. The chain will end. Heh, nice. 69. Relief. We found you drifting, the sequencer is saying. You blink. He slaps you on the shoulder. You were blessed, my friend. Welcome home. Well, that was an interesting excursion. Still, kind of annoying that it only increases the Dawn Machine's supremacy if it's above, if it's at 0. Oh well. I should have done that earlier. Well, it probably doesn't matter. Now then, time to return to Polythreme. It's a good place to lower my terror. I wonder if they're gonna rename those at some point. They don't quite fit. Alright. Teachers for the Claymen. The Intelligent Advisor and a few other Claymen are already waiting for you at the docks. You're at docks. Paradox. Alright. Long-awaited arrival. It's good to see you're back. It's good to see your front. I can't wait to see all these instructors will do. Luckily, Claymen learn extraordinarily fast. Still, our men will need some time to absorb the new knowledge and put it to use. The Intelligent Advisor taps his chin, obviously deep in thought. After a short silence, he continues. I currently have no other task for you to do. I suggest you return later, when we can see the first results of our technological endeavor. Alright. An awakening giant. Every pier in Polythreme's harbor is occupied with ships waiting for much-needed upgrades, as hundreds of Claymen transport freshly manufactured cannons and engines to them. As giants' machines are moved around you with inhumane strength. Inhumane? There's nothing inhumane about the strength. Whatever. Your gaze wanders to the dry docks. Every single section buzzes with activity while a new generation of ships is built behind their gates. Limited time. Shortly after, you stand beside the Intelligent Advisor and watch everything through the windows of his office. As you can see, everyone on this island is working on our defenses. The upgrading of the older ships is almost finished, but our capacity to produce new ones is dangerously limited. We just don't have enough dry docks. The Intelligent Advisor sighs worriedly and holds up a folded piece of paper. A few hours ago, our spies confirmed our worst fears. The Khanate will launch an attack on us very soon. We need to mobilize as many forces as possible and as fast as we can. Our depots are full with parts for the new ships, but we won't have enough time to use most of them before the Khanate attacks. That's why the Queen decided to sell our stocks and use the winnings to hire a fleet of mercenaries to support our own. Instinctively, you want to protest, but the Intelligent Advisor cuts you right off. I know. It seems ridiculous to get rid of this stuff after all the time we spent to get it in the first place. I don't like it either. The problem, however, is we don't have a choice. We don't need the ships. We don't need the ships in half a year. We need them now, and this is the way to get them. The right buyers. Our point of orientation could be our newly made cooperation with the Grand Geode. Spreading the technology of the Dawn Machine throughout the Naiads increases its influence, but only if we don't deliver to its rivals. Namely London and the Khanate. In this case, we could sell to Khan's Shadow or the Grand Geode itself. The former is a settlement of descendants from the Khanate's exiled warriors, who fought against the reformation of the Khanate and the abandonment of its traditions. The grudge of the rebel lords against the ruling clans and the Khan, in particular, is big enough that we could convince them to fight at our side in battle if we sell them spare parts to repair their ships. But beware, such an arrangement won't go unnoticed by the Khanate, which will probably send an even bigger fleet as an answer. Given how angry the Khanate already is, this will likely do more damage than it helps. you don't want to support the Dawn Machine further, we could sell our goods in London. Our cooperation with the Grand Shield was an insult to the Navy, which might cause them to use our difficult situation with the Khanate to start an attack on their own. Making the advanced technology of the Dawn Machine available to them might prevent this, the intelligence advisor explains. Afterwards, he hesitates, clearly contemplating if he should continue. The last possible buyer, he finally begins, might be the Khanate itself. Selling them weapons as a goodwill gesture won't prevent their attack, but it might pacify a particularly angry Khanate a bit, and reduce the amount of forces they deem necessary to subdue us. However, it will also weaken our military defenses according to the quality of our weapons, since our products will strengthen the Khanate's fleet in battle. You are the captain, therefore we will leave the choice where to go to you. But remember that afterwards, you'll still need to make a detour to Cater's Warren to hire pirates and mercenaries for the gains from your sales. Alright. Well, we only have one choice, don't we? To the Khan's shadow it is. Because, remember, we want to make them as angry as possible before we beat them. Let's go. We want that legacy item, because we're very close to, well, beginning our legacy, so to speak. Alright. Offer Polythreme products to the Khan's shadow. Rebellious interests. The room is dimly lit, and you can't make out the faces of those sitting in front of you. Your offer is simple. Parts to repair and upgrade their ailing ships in exchange for echoes and the unique chance to weaken the reign of the Khan. There is no hesitation as they agree. Of course, why would there ever be? They unload your cargo and immediately take everything to the shipyards. With your purse full of money and the promise to aid Polythreme in battle, you set course to the Gator's Morn. It's time to gain even more support against the Khan. Alright. 3 more diplomacy, 3 economy, and +1 anger of the Khanate. And a little bit of supremacy. As a treat. And another chest full of echoes. Let's see, grab a port for it, why not? And when did I get a star shell? Oh, whatever. Time to go. Wait, hang on. Get rid of this armor plating. Got it ages ago and I've been meaning to get rid of it for ages. I really do not need it. Alright, to Gator's Morn. I guess London does have one advantage over the Khan's shadow. It's closer to Gator's Morn. Man. This video is gonna be a bitch to edit. I can already tell. Oh well. Oh, too bad this quest doesn't intermingle with this one. Oh well. An offer to die for. There is no reason to save money for later, since there might be no later, and so you offer the entire profit of your sales to the pirates and mercenaries of the Morn. Once more into the breach, dear friends, once more. By the time everything is spent, half the island prepares to set sails to Polythreme. The mood is high, and many sailors are singing while they work. Songs about the freedom of the sea, the injustice of governments in general, and the honor of rotters and drunkards. Ah, my kind of songs. Reminds me of Technoblade. An army of outlaws ready to battle for a hand of coins and ideals unknown to kings and clerics alike. If every port was like this one, no man would ever feel unwanted. It's an unlikely view, one you won't ever see again in your life. It fills you with a sense of hope. Who knows, it might even be enough to stand a chance against the Khanate. Beware, the battle with the Khanate is dangerous and might sink your ship if your hull gets too weak. The maximum hull capacity isn't important, but a completely repaired vessel on a full crew is still advisable. Maximum hull capacity isn't important, that's disturbing. Alright. Before I return, I realized that I might as well go and increase Dawn Machine supremacy. Since I'm gonna need it for something else too. You'll see. I don't know if it actually has any effect. Gotta try though. Oh wait, I forgot it. I should have picked up more brew in London. Whatever. Let me just spend time with my family. Alright. I can give him an element of dawn. That doesn't increase supremacy, but everyone I give him after the first will. So, do I have any other use for these? Probably not, since I'm about to, you know, finish and all that. Alright. Sadly, the thing in the photo of the Frost Found that I use it for, well, it does increase the Dawn Machine supremacy. It only does it when it's below 2. Or is it at or below 2? I don't know. Now these are quite valuable, certainly more valuable than this cost, definitely. But there's no other really good way to use them at the moment. Yeah, fuck it. I'll pay you. Of course I will. But, shall I say it? I shall say it. Perhaps it would be better if you didn't bring me any more like this. Better for both our sakes. This one, I'll give the Professor Denugenes. She can feed it to her truth-maker turbine. Alright. Now, this also has a chance of increasing the Dawn Machine supremacy and all that. So I might as well do this, since I don't really have much use for vital intelligence otherwise, and this is certainly valuable. Here we go. Alright, that's, what is it at? I forget it. I think it was at 4? So that puts it at 5, I think. Alright. Oh, or I guess that was 6. Alright. Here we go. The new sequence. Welcome back. Nothing has changed. There's been a little progress, of course. Progress? Is progress possible without change? Now, progress is possible without change. The great light is worshipped in the churches. Certain measures have been set in place at the bazaar. The Ministry of Public Decency runs much more smoothly now. Most of us are smiling. The gold and amber flags of the sequence snap in the wind. Yes, we have wind now. At least we will. For now, you may assume it. The machine is grateful. You will be remembered. More importantly, now I got the Horizon Codex. It's the only way to get it without ending your game. Oh yeah. Star Wars, baby. Alright. Well, that was easier than I expected. A lot easier. And yeah, I wouldn't have done that. I probably wouldn't have done that if I wasn't already nearing the end. It doesn't really have many consequences. Little in this game does, but it does mean I no longer have access to the Dark Speckled Admiral. So, you know. But now, that should mean that the on-machine supremacy is at, well, it doesn't show, but it should be at 10. Which might help, I don't know. But hey, more importantly, I now have the Horizon Codex, which will be very handy next time. Alright, an enormous battle. With a fleet of pirates in your wake, you reach the waters of Polythreme. As the outlines of this island become visible on the horizon, you realize with dread that it is surrounded by a ring of ships. The armada of the Khanate is here. Yes, they are here now. And here they shall shatter, and with it their hold on the Z. Taking a closer look with your binocular, you notice the incredible size of the Khanate's fleet. It seems like they mobilized every single ship they have. Yes, now all the Khanate knows you're here. Perfect. The Khanate wants to make an example of Polythreme by burning it to the ground with every person living on it. What a coincidence. That's exactly my intention here with them. The ring of the Khanate's ships surrounding the island is mirrored by the armada of the Claymen closer to the shore. It mostly consists of older vessels upgraded with new engines and cannons, but you also see newer ships, and even a few foreign ones, probably a result from diplomatic relationships to neighboring islands. From afar, the gunfire between the two lines of ships almost looks like a thunderstorm. It seems that the Claymen were able to prevent the war Tremarin of the Khanate from reaching the beach for now, but without help this feat might not last long. Time to take action. You signal the pirates to attack the Khanate's armada, which is soon trapped between two lines of attackers. Come to think of it, with the new sequence reigning over London, we probably don't have to worry about the Khanate having the aid of London. In fact, we might have the aid of London. Or maybe not, but at the very least, their indifference. As your sailors start to man the cannons, you see the flagship of the Khanate sheer out of formation directly in front of you. It is twice as big as your vessel. You were doing so well, Mod Author, and instantly opens fire. Ramming speed! That'd be a lark. Outsmart them is certainly the much safer choice. In fact, I did just get an increase to my mirrors from that. Let's do it. Close by is a reef, a labyrinth of razor-sharp rocks and dangerous shoals. A perfect trap to lure the flagship into. Although, that is mildly hilarious that outsmarting the Khanate is the safe choice. That certainly says something. Just restarted the game so I can get some nice music for this. Alright, yes. You steer your ship away from your enemy and toward the center of the reef. The other vessel is following you like expected, but that might change if they realize what you're about to do. You need to give them something else to focus on. And what better way to get their attention as shooting on them? And what better way to get their attention than by shooting them? Staying in range of the flagship's strong front cannons, however, is a good way to die, and therefore you try to avoid being hit with a zigzag course. Reminds me of the whole thing of going directly behind the enemy's ship, or right behind the enemy ship, hugging its butt to avoid their attacks. Good times. Luckily, your skillful maneuvers are enough to prevent serious damage, while your gunners still manage to strike their target several times. Alright. One successful strike against the flagship. Polythreme's defense, anger of the Khanate, 19. That doesn't seem right. Isn't it supposed to be 3? Whatever. Now, at last, both ships enter the outskirts of the reef. Now it is on you to utilize your surroundings to your advantage. Alright. Aim for their spotlight. A difficult target, but blinding your enemy will not only decrease their accuracy, but might be their demise against the rocks of the reef. Sparks in the air sing from your victory as your enemy's light is squashed. Sorry, I had to restart it because the game broke. The following darkness gets only ripped apart by muzzle flashes, and only a few shots hit its mark. Your gunner makes sure that the same thing can't be said about you. Alright. The flagship drives at full speed despite hazardous waters, and is slowly catching up to you. Full reverse. Force them on the rocks at the threat of collision. Ha! Use the old full speed reverse. That's hilarious. I remember using that exact strategy to opposite effect, actually. In the very first video I did on this, when I was fighting the lifebirds with fuck all in terms of... Oh. I just realized I forgot to get more crew. Damn it, I'm an idiot. Whatever. Not important. That. That's a amusing, unintentional callback. Alright. Panic breaks out on the flagship as soon as the crew realizes what you're doing. In their frantic endeavor to prevent a collision, they steer right into one side of the rift. The impact is hard enough to break a few boxes of munition free, which crushed several sailors before falling into the sea. Oh yeah. Alright. Now, the Khan's flagship is heavily listing, burning and barely swimming at this point. Time to finish it off for good. Destroy their bridge. The Khan's crew is already evacuating, but the captain is still on his post. Take him out and prevent all further attacks from the flagship. You aim, you fire, you hit your target. We came, we saw, we kicked his ass. Flying debris and a giant hole is all that is left of the enemy's command center. The victory is yours. The Khan's mighty flagship is destroyed, but you received a large amount of damage yourself. No, I didn't. I mean, not only have I not taken any damage by hull, they didn't even mention that I took any actual significant damage. Like, what? It doesn't fit with both the mechanical stuff and it doesn't fit with the text. What the fuck are you talking about? And looking back to Polythreme, you can see the battle is still going on in full force. Assessing damage. Even though everything in you wants to go back in there and help the allies, the fact remains that you wouldn't last long in your condition. What do you mean your condition? My condition? There's only one sensible way of action. Yeah, get over there and fight with your perfectly intact ship. You need to head somewhere safe and take care of your vessel before you're able to return to Polythreme. Not only is the ship fully intact, but this is a ship that can regenerate mid-battle. Even if you did take damage, you should have been regenerating it perfectly fine. It's literally a living ship that can regenerate very quickly, so it should have been regenerating mid-battle. And even if you forgot to regenerate mid-battle, you can just regenerate as you're fighting. And, whatever. With a heavy heart, you set course away from the fighting. Yes, such a heavy heart. It's such a terrible sacrifice I have to make. That definitely has a point and isn't stupid. At least you can console yourself with the knowledge that it was you who took out the strongest ship in the enemy fleet. Alright, okay, now I've taken a little bit of damage. Lost 3 crew. Oh, of course, it's just barely below half crew. Whatever. The aftermath. What will you find? Well, guess let's fish for something awaits you and find out then. The aftermath. What will you find? Alright. Polythreme's defense, the outcome 0, and Polythreme's defense, the outcome no more than 0. Okay then. Victory! Oh yeah! Star Wars, baby! Even before reaching the shore, the effects of the battle become painfully clear. The sea surrounding the island is black with oil and barley, and black with oil and barley, and barely navigable with dozens, maybe hundreds of wrecks in it. From the harbor itself remains only an accumulation of collapsed houses, and a large site of bodies for dead soldiers and claymen. Nevertheless, Polythreme buzzes with life as large groups of claymen try to clear the streets from rubble and from typos, or build makeshift houses for the homeless. Even with the horrible destruction, it seems like the claymen managed to fend off the attack. Immediately you head to the palace, only to realize there are almost no guards there. You muse that the pirate poet probably sent them out to help with the cleaning work. Either that or they were killed. You choose to believe that it is the former one. The moment you enter the throne room, the pirate poet rushes towards you and lifts you up in a bear hug that almost squeezes the life out of you. You're alive. We weren't sure what happened after your encounter with the flagship, but you're alive, she whispers in relief before setting you down. You're alive. We weren't sure what happened to you after your encounter with the flagship, but you're alive, she whispers in relief before setting you down. She beckons you to follow her to her private chamber, oh my, while she continues. Might be hard to realize with Polythreme looking like this, but we actually managed to defend ourselves. I doubt there wouldn't be any survivors otherwise. What? I doubt there would be any survivors otherwise. The Khanate gave it their all, and without the Dawn Machine's influence on London, we would have been doomed. I don't know if you realized it, but during your one-on-one with the flagship, a fleet of the Royal Navy arrived and joined our forces. The number of Khanate's forces were incredible, but still not enough to fight against two enemies at once. Technically 4 if you count Polythreme, London. Well, no. Yeah. Polythreme, London, Khan's Shadow, and me. Yeah, and yes, I count as an entire force unto myself, obviously. Most of their ships were sunken, and given how much they invested in the attack, the Khanate's military strength is basically non-existent at this point. Upon reaching your destination. Yes, that's exactly what I intended. They emptied out their armies, and now those armies are emptied out into the sea. Upon reaching your destination, the pirate poet opens the door and leads you inside. You sit down at a table and place a glass of wine in front of you while taking none for herself. You sit down at a table and she places a glass of wine in front of you while taking none for herself. Therefore, I decided to gather all of our remaining forces and invade the Khanate. Yeah. Perfect. This is exactly what I was hoping for. No, but after what happened today, we couldn't take the chance to let them be. The Khanate is now under Polythreme's control. Oh, it already happened. Oh my, I thought you were saying we were going to do that. It's now under Polythreme's control, with claymen commanding the white and gold in both Khan's glory and heart. So, the Dawn Machine now controls London, and Polythreme now controls the Khanate. And the two are allied. What a weird state that I'm leaving the Z in as I go to the end. The pirate poet sighs, takes off her hood, and tiredly rubs over her bald head. Stone, help me. I just wanted a free and independent Polythreme. Now I'm the queen of my people and of the power to create life. Not only that, but now Polythreme and the Dawn Machine replace London and the Khanate as the major powers in the Nea. Yeah, funny old world, isn't it? For a moment there is silence between the two of you, but then you take her hand and give it a reassuring squeeze. Your answer is a small, thankful smile. I know I should be happy. We accomplished more than we could have ever dreamed. It's so overwhelming, you know? She sighs once again while you stroke the back of her hand with your thumb. I'm glad you're here, she breathes before she finally reaches for the bottle of wine and fills a glass for herself. From now on, Polythreme's influence grants you access to shops in the Khan's heart without the additional requirements. If it's enough to guarantee your safety is another question, though. Oh, the Book of Sharps. Nice. Well, actually, I was kind of hoping for a unique legacy. You would have mentioned getting a legacy from here, but still. That legacy is not exactly the easiest to obtain. It's one of those ones that requires you to end your game to get it normally. Alright. The next morning, the pirate boat sits with you while you're eating breakfast in your chamber in the palace. Setting sails. You make small talk about the current situation. Or, no, actually it doesn't. Well, it does. It doesn't actually require that, but it requires you to basically destroy, to do some stuff in Vienna. Although, well, there's two different options. One was the end of the game, the other very inconvenient. Actually, both are very inconvenient, but whatever. You make small talk about the current situation, the progress of the cleaning work, and your plans to soon head out once again with your ship. It isn't long that I traveled with you, and yet it almost feels like a lifetime ago, considering everything that happened in between. She twirls the wine glass in her hand, and looks at you with a thoughtful gaze. I told you I would return to your ship, and I will, if you have me. I might not return to the sea once I fully accept my role as queen here on Polythreme. But even if I lose the freedom of the waters below my feet, I won so much more. One day in the future you might face a similar choice, and will abandon your ship for something even better. Who knows? Maybe I'll even be there, and we will leave the sea behind us together. Perhaps. But perhaps not. Not unless you're gonna aid with the stuff in with the 7. Probably not, unfortunately. Very little interconnectivity, I mentioned. Now, has anything else changed? No. This is as usual here in Polythreme, but what about in the Khanate? Oh. Yeah. This is gonna take a bit. Oh dear. The white and gold. The keening of the pipes and rattle of white-painted carriages. The Khanate regards you as unwelcome. The white and golds are coming for you. Flee. Perhaps you can lose them in the alleyways and double back to your ship. Oh. Okay then. Here we go. Polythreme's influence. The white and golds are still patrolling the canals, upholding the law of the Khanate while the merchants follow their usual business. Everything seems normal. A facade keeps the public in blissful ignorance. Use your connections. In public, the loyalty service won't treat you any different than normal. But in private, your affliction to Polythreme will grant you easy access to goods normally inaccessible for foreigners. Alrighty then. Alright. So that's a no then. Nothing has changed. And on the plus side, I now have enough mirrors to sell off this aquarium. No, why would I do that? Alrighty then. That's that then. Not much, not have enough logs then. So, today we spent like, bloody hell, over an hour, I think. Going around, preparing Polythreme to fight against the Khanate. And it went as, and also deliberately angering the Khanate, and it went about as well as it could have. We drew the Khanate's whole fleet out of the Khanate. And the word Khanate is starting to not sound like a word. And we absolutely slaughtered them with the aid of the Grand Geode, the new sequence controlled London. And now the new sequence and Polythreme are the new powers in the waters. What a strange world we live in. Next up, well, I guess there's still a few things I need to do. For one thing, get more crew. You'd think that we'd be inured for you think with Polythreme controlling it, we wouldn't have to deal with this suspicion crap. Maybe if we swing by the Khan's glory. Maybe they'll have some easy way of getting rid of the suspicion. Since in theory, the Polythreme now controls the white and gold, so they shouldn't be attacking me. I don't know, maybe it was just poorly implemented. A lot of the stuff in the Pirate Poet stuff is poorly implemented. Yep. Nah. Yeah, well. That's that then. Yeah, that's fucking Pirate Poet for Polythreme storyline. It's I don't know. It's of the mods that make up the Sunless Stories mega mod, it's easily the weakest when it comes to, or the least when it comes to how well designed it is. It's got a good story. It's got it's got a really crazy story. I mean, we've got Polythreme taking over the Khanate and all that crap. It's really interesting. Problem is, as you can see, like, because I mean, that story really is a microcosm of the whole mod. Really interesting and creative stuff, but it's not exactly. But it's sort of carelessly written. You've got all those like really obvious errors that and such, and it sort of spoils the whole experience. I don't know. I had fun though. And if you think about it, Pirate Poet Polythreme really exemplifies Sunless Sea in general. A lot of crazy shit, a lot of really great stuff, but it's just careless. Yeah, well. What am I being a downer for? We won. And that's something worth celebrating. We've enacted some pretty bizarre changes to the landscape of the Z. And next up, well, we'll get another member of the crew somewhere. Probably Gator's Morn. And then we'll tie up a few other loose ends. I can't think of any stories I really care about right now, but we can definitely start grinding out our stats. Most importantly, our pages. Because once we get pages up high, we can start doing on the next stage, which is grinding out money. Loads of money. LODS of EMONE. What's that spell? Loads of money, probably. And then over in wisdom, and then once we get an absurd amount of money from there, we can then use that money to go buy extraordinary implications, which we can then use to buy seeing enigmas, to buy dread surmises, which we can then use to make even more ridiculous amounts of money even quicker. Require quite a lot of them. Since the profit margin is 1,000 echoes per trip per dread surmise, which is 9 suing enigmas, which is 45 extraordinary implications, which is 14,985 echoes. Fortunately, we can. The strategy I'm intending can net us probably around 24,000 echoes per trip, and a pretty short trip. So yeah. But to do that, we'll need 175 pages. So we're gonna have to work on that then. Fortunately, I know just the place. And then, once we have all that, and of course, you may be wondering why I'm grinding up all this cash shortly before ending the game. Well, you'll see. And then, but yeah, like once I do that, get stupid amounts of cash, tie up loose ends, put my affairs in order. Then we will return to Scrimshander to plot the downfall of Nida. Honestly, I'll probably, considering how much of that I'll probably cut out, I could probably do all of that in one episode. Who knows? I mean, unless you want to see an entire episode of me hunting Lorn Flukes over and over again for an hour. Maybe you do. I don't know. But until then, I have been Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. So long, suckers.